Good day, dear friends. In today's video, we are going to see why there are exactly 12 zodiac signs in astrology and why not 10 or 13. Okay. So, the reason why we have 12 zodiac signs is because of astronomy. So, when I explain this, it will become clear that the astronomy is the actual basis of astrology. Okay. So, let's see why 12 zodiac signs. For that, we need to see the relationship between sun, earth, and moon's rotation. We all know that due to sun's gravitational force, earth stays in its orbit and rotates around the sun. Similarly, due to the earth's gravitational force, moon stays in its orbit around earth and rotates around um, the earth. And we also suppose we want to track the full moon while looking at the sky, right? Full moon is the easiest to track because it's very bright. So suppose while we are standing on the earth and then we start making notes about which part of the sky the full moon is happening. When we look up from the earth, we can see that in the sky there is the stars as the background. The moon is moving, but the stars are stationary. So what happens is, as we start tracking full moon, approximately every 29 and of days, uh, the full moon comes again. So suppose the first month we see full moon, say this part of the sky. Next month we will see full moon happening around this place, some other part of the sky, because Earth has moved. Right? Earth is moving, rotating around the sun in a circular fashion. Because Earth has moved by certain distance in the sky, we see, because moon is also moving along with Earth, because moon stays in Earth's orbit. So we see the next full moon happening in some other part of the sky. If Earth were stationary, the full moon would always be happening exactly same point of the sky. Even though moon is rotating, it comes back and the full moon happens, should happen. But because Earth has moved by certain degrees in the sky, the full moon now looks at a different part of the sky. Same thing, next month, the full moon happens even another part, like, 60, like, every 30 degrees, every 30 days, Earth moves around 30 degrees. So we see that full moon, we track, if we track the full moon, we can track the full moon happening in different parts of the sky. So let's see that in astronomy, like, in an astronomical software, there is a software called Stellarium, which we all can download for free. I have downloaded on my laptop. This is an astronomical software. It has nothing to do with astrology. There you can do some settings in such a way that the sky is, the portions of the sky are named as per Indian Vedic astrology. You can also change the setting to see the names of the, like, Arabic zodiac signs or the Greek zodiac signs and all that. I have set it to see how the sky is divided as per the Indian names that Indian astrology has given the names. So there are, as per Indian astrology, the sky is divided into 27 parts called nakshatras, the 360-degree sky that you view. So I have set it up to London, and I know that on April 23rd in 2024, it's going to be the full moon day. So I've set up the date to April 23rd in the night. I've set up the date and I've set up the London sky. So if you are standing on Earth in London and look up the sky in on a full moon day, which part of the sky the full moon appears. This part of the sky is known as, in Indian Vedic astrology, this part of the sky is known as Chitra. Chitra Nakshatra. Nakshatra doesn't mean star, okay? Nakshatra actually means a 13.33 degree zodiac space. 360 degree zodiac space that you can observe while standing on the earth is divided into 27 parts. And that each part is given a name, and that part is called one of the parts is called this Chitra Nakshatra. It's exactly the equal parts. The sky is divided into equal parts so that you can track the celestial objects like planets or other objects. like comets and all that, and tell yourself this is the part of the sky where I can see the celestial object. Like I can see the Saturn planet here in this part. I can see Venus in this part, like that. So when they say moon is in Chitra Nakshatra, what they mean is moon on that day is appearing in that part of the sky where that part is called Chitra Nakshatra. So on April 23rd, the full moon is going to happen in Chitra Nakshatra. Suppose you see in May 20th, around, we know the 29 of days, there is another full moon, right? On 29 and on May 23rd, approximately May 23rd, you will have full moon. Now this is happening, if you notice, Jyeshtha Nakshatra. Okay, you see Chitra is here now, but it is now happening in Jyeshtha Nakshatra. This is where the full moon is. If you notice in June, full moon around June 23rd, the full moon happens in Ashadha Nakshatra. There are two nakshatras called Purvashadha and then Uttarashadha. It happens in between around Ashadha. So that's why this month is also known as Ashadha Masa. So wherever full moon happens in the sky, that part of the sky, that name is given to that month in Hindu calendar. This is very astronomical. There is nothing spiritual. There is nothing mystical about it. It only says that in this 29.5 days, the full moon happens in this part of the sky. Literally is the sky observation. It's astronomy. Okay. So as I mentioned, if you remember, Earth is moving around the sun and it is taking moon along with it. So after 12 months, after 12 months, the full moon should happen around the same point as in April 2024. We should see again after a year approximately, which is in April 2025, the full moon should happen again in Chitra Nakshatra. So let's see, I have taken the screenshot of the future, which you can do in Stellarium software. Again, you see in 2025, year 2025, around April 13th, the full moon happens again in Chitra Nakshatra. So we made one full circle. So, and there are 12 full moons. If we count it, this will be the 13th full moon. 12 full moons would have been completed. So that means for the full moon to appear around the same part of the sky, it takes 12 full moons should have appeared in between. That's the reason to track the full moons in the sky. The zodiac is divided into 12 equal parts known as Rashis, like Mesha, Vishabha, Miduna, Karkataka, etc., which is Aries, Taurus, Gemini in Greek mythology, in Greek astronomy. So this is the reason, whether it is Greek or whether it is Indians, they have divided the sky into 12 equal parts. And this is the reason why we have exactly 12 zodiac signs, because for the full moon to come back to that position in the sky, it takes 12 lunar months. So that's the reason to track the full moon, which part of the sky it is happening. The zodiac is divided into 12 signs. Okay, so this is purely astronomy. So as you can see, full moon to full moon is known as a lunar month, and that it takes approximately 29.5 days. And we all know that it takes 365 days to rotate around the sun. So in 365, we approximately have 12 lunar months. That's the reason why zodiac is divided into 12. There are 12 lunar months. And but we need to sync this lunar month with the solar month, because there is 29.5 days in lunar month. If you multiply that with 12, you get 354, which is less, it's 11 days less than solar year. If we let it continue, so the lunar year is like 12 full moons, which is 354 days, is out of sync with the solar year, which is 365 days. So in Hindu Panchang, approximately every 32.5 months, one full lunar month is added, because what happens in 1 year, 11 days, it's out of sync by 11 days. In 2 years, it's 22 days. In 32.5 months, it's approximately 30 days out of sync. So 29.5 days is out of sync. So every 32.5 months, Hindu Panchang adds an extra lunar month with the same name as that the next month, to sync the lunar year with the solar year. so that this calculation can go indefinitely. This concept is known as Adhika Masa. You can think of it as like a leap month. The way we have the leap year concept where we are adding one day every 4 years to keep the solar year in sync with our calendar, because solar is actually 365.4 days. So, sorry, 365 and 1/4 day. Every 4 years, we are adding a day. But that is purely solar. It is not tracking the lunar year at all. But Hindu Panchang tracks both lunar and the solar years. Okay, so because the two luminaries are very important, sun and moon are the source of life on earth. So to do anything on earth, to you need to track both sun's apparent motion around earth and also the moon's apparent motion around earth. So Hindu Panchang actually tracks both the motions, and it also keeps them in sync in its calendar. And as you can see, Hindu Panchang is not a lunar calendar. There is a popular misconception that Hindu Panchang is lunar calendar, which is wrong. It is actually solely lunar calendar because it tracks both solar year and also lunar year, and it keeps them in sync very smartly. The calendar that we use, the Gregorian calendar, is just the solar calendar. It is not tracking the lunar motion at all, but Hindu Panchang tracks both the motions. So this is a solely lunar calendar, and astronomy is the biggest part of Jyotish, which is the astrology in India. And this astronomy part is known as Ganita. Ganita literally means math. So the calculations. Ganita means calculating. So because continuously we are calculating and we are tracking the motion of not only sun and moon, we are also tracking the motion of other grahas, the planets, and we are also tracking eclipses through the two shadow grahas known as Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu is nothing but tracking eclipses. The Hindu Panchang is so smart. It also not only knows about all the planets and also moon and the sun's apparent motion around earth, it also is aware of how the eclipses happen and how to calculate when the eclipses happen. So this is all astronomy, and this is known as Ganita and astrology. So this is the basis of 12 zodiac signs in astrology. Hope it makes sense to you. Thank you for listening to me.